All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys. We do conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we just happen to do recaps of some of our favorite shows. This one is Married at First Sight, the Nashville season, so you know what to do by now. I don't even know why I have to say it, but for some of y'all that be watching and you haven't done it yet, don't share, like.
Don't be checking.
Turn on notifications. In fact, we know because some of y'all are like, we found you again. Well, yeah.
You found us again.
You wouldn't have to find us if you just subscribe. So just hit the like. Help the algorithm. In fact, that'll help the algorithm bring us back around to you quicker too. So do all that. Consider becoming a member. And what else? Checking out the merch store. That's what it was.
Check out the merch store.
Hey.
Store.
The record style. Tell me what movie that's from. All right. So you don't even know.
I know. I hear that all the time. Could have been mine.
The record store. All right. So let's talk about Jasmine and Eris. It wasn't a whole lot with them except that because he was gone for part of the trip. He had to get back and do some work.
Right. He had to keep his job. So, but I think the important part was that she missed him and the opportunities he could have had to see her.
Right.
Running up a pole. Not a stripper pole.
I was just about to say something.
But a lumber pole. He missed that. He got to see her booty in a harness. All those good things.
That might have accentuated things for him. So he'd be like, oh, she does have something there. Okay.
But he missed out.
Yeah.
So she did want him to kind of be in the moment and experience because they're supposed to trying to build this chemistry. So I guess a lot of it was talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he even said that he missed her and the dogs.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. Anybody, when you're around someone, you have to get used to navigating someone else being in the house with you. I think naturally that should happen. Now the question is, did he like being alone, or did he? Did he miss her?
You're gonna have to get used to it again, because.
Yep.
They not on the path for them to be together afterwards. So
no, they're not.
So he might as well get used to that feeling of, oh yeah, there were some dogs and a woman here for a period of time.
There was hair all over the floor.
Yeah,
as he called it.
Yeah,
and he kind of struggled even saying it. That, that he missed her, and I don't know why that's a struggle for him, but he was just like, I missed the hair. She was like, what? The hair? She's like, oh, me, brushing my hair and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Nicole and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So their big thing is, her big thing is, notice how we on the one accord with that? Because both of us see that as the issue. Her big thing is them living together after the experiment. Mm-hmm. Important. I get that. It's not something that you just kind of make your decision and then try and figure out. If you're going to stay together, you're planning to stay together, I get trying to have that conversation.
Definitely.
She brings it up on the trip up to the to the retreat or wherever they were in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I get the value of it. I get the importance. Let's talk about it when we get back.
Because he said right now we can't do anything about it. We need to look at some other homes, see where we can find some people that would be reasonable enough to allow us to have 3 pets. Obviously, they're just starting out. And even after 8 weeks, I understand why he don't want to make a big purchase and buying a house.
Exactly.
If they're not even finished their first year of marriage. I know in a couple of episodes they talked about, let's go ahead and keep our lease for each place. Because again, when you're in an apartment owners don't want you to have more than 2 dogs. There's always normally a size requirement. So right now, they came to the conclusion that everyone's going to keep their lease for at least another 6 months or so.
Right.
Or even if you go month by month.
Yep.
Until you can figure it out. So he was like, we can't do anything this weekend. Let's just enjoy the time we have together.
Well, that's not good enough for her.
No, she was anxious, right? Everybody wants to have a plan. I don't fault her for that. But at the same time, she has to realize they cannot do it over the weekend.
Right. They go play miniature golf. She says, one of the things I pulled out was that she says, I guess her concern for him or whatever is him always putting others first. Which there is that fine line, right? Of you want to help people, you want to do for people, but you also don't want to lose yourself in that whole thing. And that's what I kind of hear her saying. But then she proceeds to help him lose himself in doing things for her.
Well, this is where she's asking him to step up for himself, right? Because when she comes across being needy, then he has to say no, because that's her just natural, until they get further along, and as she begins to grow and hopefully get the, counseling she needs, that'll start to wean, but it's not weaning now.
No.
So the best thing she can do is to advocate that he starts speaking out for himself. And like she's indicated, like, go out and hang out with your friends. Do things with other people.
But if I remember correctly, was he the one who says he doesn't really have a lot of friends there?
Yes. So that means he would have to create new friendships and do stuff he likes.
Yep.
So I know that's probably a part of his character, always helping others. But at the same time, at least she's encouraging it. Right. She's not discouraging it.
No.
So I think we have to applaud that from her, because she's just not going to naturally just change from who she is.
Yeah, because when they're talking, like, all of them are at the lumberjack outing, and then they break off, like, parts of each couple go off separately, right? Or go off together as a group. And she brings it up to, again, she brings up the housing issue to the other people. And they're like, well, you won't have every decision ready on decision day. The only decision that you're really being asked to make is, will you continue on and stay married, or will you get a divorce? Other decisions will happen throughout your marriage. And then she just rambles. And I'm sorry, I've been over Nicole for a while.
I think a lot of times we got to accept people where they are. And so I just accept where she is. Once you get to know people's character and that's who they are, they can only show up as themselves.
Yeah. So then at the end, when they're kind of getting ready to leave the cabin area or whatever, she pulls out and wants to do for breakfast, pulls out some dinosaur costumes. And my man Chris was like, why?
Right.
What purpose does it serve? This is, well, because it would be cute and it would be funny. No, I really don't. Well, no, so he finally gives in and he does it.
I think this would have been a great moment
to put your foot down and say, nope.
Like, and I'd be like this, if you want to do it, you know what? I'll go upstairs with you, but I'm not wearing a dinosaur outfit.
She says it's for her to be silly.
And she could be silly by herself.
All by yourself.
And I would tell her, you can be silly by yourself. You're good. Go ahead. You go first. I'll be doing this, a dinosaur keeper.
Yep. That's my role.
That's what I'll be. Like, we could be like Jurassic Park.
Yep.
I'll be the scientist. So, you know, when you're trying to help a child that has his imagination, you don't want to stunt the child's imagination, but you decide you're going to put my own role where I can still be myself.
Yep.
And you can look like whatever you want to look like in that moment.
Yep.
That's exactly what I would have done. He has to get creative.
Oh, yeah.
And think outside the box.
Because then
we can pretend like it's Jurassic Park.
Yep. She says, this is what love looks like.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Not when I see no purpose in it. Now, granted, just playing the other side of it, sometimes we do stuff that we don't really like, but we do it for our partner. Yes. I can say I've gone places where I really wouldn't care for going, but I did it because that's something that you enjoyed, you know. Like going to a baseball game.
Oh.
Yeah. It's boring.
It is. It was the Cubbies.
Just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone to see
sometimes
sports.
a lot of times we did that for the kids though too.
But again, we did it because we wanted them to have exposure.
True.
And that they could see a different sport.
But I'm not dragging you to a baseball game every week. That ain't happening.
No, that wouldn't happen.
And it wouldn't happen, so.
But at the same time, if you ask me to go and we haven't spent time together, I wouldn't say no every time either.
Okay.
That's what it's saying.
So I'm gonna have you dressed up in a dinosaur costume.
Okay. See how that goes.
Yeah. So, but again, that's not what love looks like. That's not at all. I won't say it's full on manipulation or control, but it is just kind of like the man didn't really want to do it. It really wasn't. It's not what she was playing it up for the camera, in my opinion. She was playing it up to show, oh, we're this cute couple who does cute, silly things. Right. That's what her motive was. Right. Let's really deal with that. That's what her real motive was.
Right.
We're leaving. Let's just show everybody we're so in love and we're still trying to figure things out, but we do cute, silly things together.
Right.
Chris is like,
Right. And I think, to me, sometimes you need to test that and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it, and see how she's going to respond.
Is that what love looks like still?
When I don't do it?
When I tell you no?
When I
say, still love you, but say no.
You go ahead and take mine back to the, I don't know how much you pay for this, but go ahead and take mine back to the store.
You should be able to get a full refund because I ain't opened it up.
Exactly.
So, Clint and Gina, let's talk about them. Mm-hmm. They're still friends. Although Gina's becoming a little concerned about his drinking.
Well, I think it's, they're becoming friends, but you're still not being vulnerable enough to say, like, even as my friend, like, hey, I feel like you're embarrassing me, because it sounds like this is what's going to come up in the next episode. Yeah. Like, you're embarrassing me, and I feel embarrassed when you do this. Mm-hmm. And, kind of from her conversation with, the other couples or other partners, she was like, he really doesn't try to even make me feel attracted to him in any way. Right. And I hear what she's saying, because she was saying that he doesn't have any swag, and I feel, and maybe this was more a woman thing, where we would be like, well, what would make you feel more attractive? Would it be cutting my hair or doing something what I wouldn't feel like it changes my personality? Right. But it's something where if it could trigger something in you to see me in a different light, would I be willing to do that? Gotcha.
So the other thing with them was one of her employees quit, and she was kind of distraught about that. And he did, he did a good job, as a friend should, of kind of consoling and helping her see, the value of that, see kind of, what went on with it, all of that. But yeah, because she did say that when he's really drunk, it's not attractive. And then we see kind of Clint having one of those moments where, I like Clint.
Yeah, I like Clint.
He's very different from what I originally was giving, was his initial impression, I should say. But they're in the jacuzzi or whatever, in the hot tub. And he gets the champagne bottle, starts spraying it on people, and then asks, what's the craziest place they had sex? And you could just see Gina's face like, here we go.
Because he's still giving those frat boy kind of vibes, if I can put it that way. Yep. And I think in some ways Clint hasn't grown up, and he wants to still stay the life of the party. Which is nothing wrong. As you age, you can still be the life of the party, but that means you're.
But the party changes,
right? And who you hanging out with?
There's a different party when you're 10 years old. Right. There's a different party when you're 18 years old. There's a different party when you're 40 years old.
Right.
The party changes.
Right.
And if you haven't adjusted to the new party,
right,
you look out of place.
And so I think those are the conversations I would have, just in general, right? Because I'm assuming he'll still be looking for love if it doesn't work out between them. But as a good friend, you would think they would come to the place where they could share that. Yeah. So
Clint probably is still going to like 20, 23-year-old parties and not 40, 45-year-old parties.
I hope not, because either way, you're going to in some way stick out. You're going to be the old man that's going to be giving out the drinks. Like,
well, he don't seem to be sticking out from what that little clip we saw with him and Dominique. So, we haven't seen that yet. We're waiting to see that portion.
We'll see.
That was pretty much it for them. I do know that there was a segment when, like, at the final dinner, they were all kind of having questions just about relationships. They were good questions. Nothing major, in my opinion, from that.
No, nothing. Again, they're talking in code. Yes. I'd rather, let's go ahead and be vulnerable and honest. It's like, look, we're not getting married. Right. I mean, we're not staying married.
Right.
You know, I like you as a person, as a friend.
But decision day, we're going our separate ways. Correct. We'll wave to each other in the parking garage of the apartment building that we both share. But
or maybe they're still, you know, once you start something where you have someone to talk to in the evening time, mm-hmm. you know, they may keep up some parts of their relationship, you know, if it's on both sides.
Possible.
I could see her doing that more than him, because if he was looking for more romantic and she's like, look, you make a good friend and I want to stay friends.
Okay.
Because, you know, you need someone that when she out of town, take Hank.
Yep. Because Hank gonna go with Clint.
Hank loves Clint.
Hank gonna be... All right.
Go in his bedroom. Okay. Hank gonna be there.
Oh, Clint. All right. So Kirsten and Shaq. This couple.
Well, I almost feel, and I thought about this earlier, I was like, what if they just playing up for their cameras to make you think they're not going to be together when we know they're going to be together at the end? I kind of feel like, because when we were looking at the after party, she made me mad because it took Keisha, right? Is her name Keisha?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rudy.
I try to make sure I wasn't calling her, my God, her character's name. Mm-hmm. She was like, so what are you trying to get out of this? Well, I just want to make sure he loves me and that he wants to continue on after the thing. Then why don't you just go ahead and say that instead of just asking a man questions to 2 or 3 in the morning? Now, she says they don't do it all the time. But again,
once is enough.
We got to get to the point where we're going to be vulnerable. Right. If you got 8 weeks and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, and mm-hmm. I'm scared and I'm worried. You already married to the man. Mm-hmm. What you're trying to decide, does he want to stay married to you? Put it out on the line.
Yep.
My God, take the risk.
Yep.
I'm falling for you. I want to stay married to you. I see all these great qualities in you. I know it doesn't look perfect, but marriage is not perfect.
Right.
And I do want us to talk about what it looks like, where we live, all those things, mm-hmm. so we can start thinking of the future.
What's your credit like so you can get me a $6 million house?
Right. Because if you're saying you want all these things, but you're not willing to take the full risk, you already took the risk of being on national TV. You already took the risk of signing a marriage certificate. You're taking all these risks, but you just don't want to jump on the deep end at this point?
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, I'll give Shaq a little tap on the hand too, because he does say he's like he doesn't feel like they need to always talk, but he kind of observes, and I get what he's saying.
Oh yeah,
because I get the fact that sometimes it's not so much the questions I ask, it's what I observe you doing and how I observe you responding. So I get that, but I think that just to again just give him a little nudge. You got to recognize, though, that that's not her love language. That's not her language. That's not how she speaks or how she receives information. So for her, you do have to have those conversations.
Right.
Granted, not until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But that means that when you do have those opportunities, you have those vulnerable, open, and transparent conversations so that she feels satisfied that she's getting to know you more and getting mm-hmm. that connection with you. Mm-hmm. And you can still observe everything you want from her, mm-hmm. right? Because part of it is because now I hear that also because I was just thinking about this. Remember, he was asking questions of her mm-hmm. and she was just kind of stonewalling it initially, mm-hmm. right? So it's like, now I'm like, do you ask questions? Do you not ask questions because you're afraid of getting stonewalled, or are you really observing?
I think also, and again, I'm also trying to extend grace because we've been doing it over 27 years.
Right.
So initially, no one knows why people are doing what they're doing.
Right.
And we don't know what questions to ask.
Right.
Now, my older self, if God forbid, if I had to get remarried and someone's like, oh, I want to talk all night then I would know what questions to ask. Well, what do you gain at talking a night? What are you really looking for? What are you scared of? And you're not asking me straight out, or you're not being vulnerable about. Those are the things that I can now point to and see now. But at the beginning of a relationship and being 20 years younger, no.
So understandable. So we get them. So predictions. We're still, because we're still probably I think the next 2 weeks will be kind of like the lead up to decision day.
Yeah.
So as far as Kirsten and Shaq, I'm still
pretty much on the side that they'll stay together.
Yes.
Clint and Gina, I'm gonna give them a hard no. If they do, I would be very shocked. Cause I'm sorry, no one wants you want to be friends, but there has to be some romance.
There has to be something there.
Nicole and Chris.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them a definite yes. They can't show me any piece of tape on them saying they're mad at each other and that they wouldn't stay together.
And part of that is because Chris acquiesces to a lot of the things that she wants to do, but that is going to get old.
Again, as they grow and mature, I think they'll both change.
I give you that.
He'll put his foot down more, and then she will be more attracted to, compromising.
Okay. And then Jasmine and Eris.
That's a hard no.
A hard no.
It's a hard no. I mean, now, could they continue to date after this if he finds her attractive finally? Potentially. But I'm going to give it a hard no.
Yeah, I don't even see them dating afterwards.
I don't either.
And I don't put that on him. I'm putting that on her. She probably like, I'm done.
Well, she's been given grace when she could have left a long time ago.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
Listen, only God can give that much grace, in my opinion. So,
hey, and we need it.
Yes.
But I'm gonna give him a hard no.
Okay.
It's just, and I can't say that the experts missed it. I think
he wasn't fully honest with himself.
Right. I don't think he understood what he was getting involved in. I think he missed it.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
So that's on him.
So right now we're predicting 2 out of 5 for this run of Married at First Sight. All right, that's it. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts were. Let us know what we might have missed. And we'll definitely see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.